Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. What on earth are you doing here with me today watching Supreme Commander videos when you should be in the kitchen helping out, you know, putting Brussels sprouts on the hob, or, I don't know, mincing cranberries? Well, no, of course you shouldn't, because you know, you only get shouted at because you do it wrong, and everybody in your family knows that your real talents lie in staring at square screens. That's exactly where you should be right now. Don't let anyone tell you different. It's Supcon time. Merry Christmas. I hope it's unless of course there's a Bond movie on. I give you permission to go and watch a Bond movie if that comes on the TV, but otherwise no, you need to watch you need to watch Supcon, no matter how disappointed your family and friends may be. Alright, what have we got today? Annoyingly, I wanted to have Christmas special put on the scrolling title at the bottom there, but I still haven't worked out how to make OBS do what I want it to do with regards to that title thing, so I had to I hope it is actually saying all the players. I didn't check closely enough, but yeah, it's going to be a custom 5v5, so there's an awful lot of them, and as Jesus said, the meek shall inherit the earth. And so as such, in honor of that, in honor of Jesus, on his B-Day, happy birthday, mate, we're having our own version of the meek today. It's Average Joe's Day today here at Guilecast. I'm ready, you guys are ready, and the players are sure as hell ready. So let's go on over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. Chang. Chang. There we go, that's it. Hilly Plateau 5v5 version 2. How very exotic. We know what we're dealing with here. This is Team 1 up here at the top. This is Team 2 down here at the bottom. There's an awful lot of players, so we better go straight to it. Up here at the top for Team 1. First of all, in the blue corner in baby blue, it's Roller, and he's going Aeon, opening first land. Team member number 2 to his right. In baby pink, it's Smurf Hunter. He's going Seraphim, opening first land. Team member number 3, last of the back row for Team 1, it's Nether, going UEF, how very sensible, in Ferrari Red, opening first land. Team member number 4, up front this time for Team 1, it's Master Mandel. He's also going UEF in Cyanide Scion, opening first land. And last but not least, for Team 1, it's this guy. Seen him before, seen him around. It's this guy. He's going Cybrin, bless him, going first land in Elephantine Grey. Let's take a look at Team 2, starting from similar position. Down here at the bottom, it's F. Odin, because Thor is clearly superior. He's going Cybrin, opening first land in Spetsnaz Green, going second air, already on the move there. Team member number 2 for Team 2, K240 this time. Aeon, probably the rear guard air position, opening first air. How very sensible in Vivacious Violet. How very attractive. Next up, team member number 3, it's Setzer, and he's going Aeon in, what is that, Hallyborange Orange? Where is it? Setzer, yeah, Hallyborange Orange. And he's going first land. Team member number 4 to the front row. He's disappeared. He's already at the middle. It's Stack or Destroy. He destroys stacks of things, apparently, and he's going UEF, opening first land. And last but not least, also strutting his stuff towards the middle, it's Cabal in Mellow Yellow, going UEF, opening first land. Game quality is at 87%, and I don't really understand that because that's not what we consider a balanced game. But if you look at the averages there, it's 1340 versus 1360, but I'm guessing it's taking into account the actual proper rendered global rankings as opposed to the, you know, what you call it, the rounded rankings that we see here. Because actually, if you go to where do we go? There we go. So that's we've got a 1600 on each team, a 1500 on each team. The only difference was F. Odin and Smurf Hunter, 1400 and 1300. Then we've got a 1200 on each and a 1100 each. So it seems pretty balanced, even if it's not qualified as such in the Supreme Scoreboard thing. How do I get back to normal? There you go. Back to Team Blobbage. So ACUs converging on one another in the centre. The two sets of front runner players, the front line players. Master Mandel and this guy turning up a little bit later than Stacker Destroyer. I won't do that the whole time, I promise. And Cabal. And there they go. It's a UEF trio opening up on one another. A UEF love triangle. Nobody loves Cybrid. He's just, nobody just coming in from the centre and going after Stack Destroyers. They both try to raid the reclaim in the middle as best they can. Air Scout overhead there from K240, getting a little shifty on what's going on. We've also got a mole in the area coming out there from this guy. Over in the west, Setzer moving up the far edge of the map. and everybody else pretty much staying in their base as far as I can tell. We do have a third frontliner coming up from the bottom. That's F. Odin. He's going to run into Master Mandel, and usually that would be a problem, of course. UEF versus Cybrin wouldn't go typically brilliantly for the Cybrin player, but Master Mandel already dipping into the yellow now as he's taking quite a bit of damage of the initial exchanges between him, Cabal, and Stacker Destroyer. Where exactly has this guy gone? Well, he's gone all the way over there, and he's headed straight up to the reclaim field. Not going to try and stick around and grab that. Master Mandel then finding himself all by his lonesome in the middle. Not a great place to be. Smurf Hunter being pinged, he's asking for assistance, and he's down below 50% of his health, and in fact he's facing 2v1 and a third one coming in. He's going to need Smurf Hunter to force him to assist here. Nice little build of a land factory, but he needs to get that down and continue to move. Doesn't want to bump into one of his own tanks. That's not going to help him at all. That Lobo just causing problems and not really assisting. He's into the red now. We could have our first ejection inside 5 minutes at this rate. Look at that, and in come a couple of jesters there as well from F. Odin. Surely he's not getting out of this one. 200, 100, it's going to be closer. Another build and attempt to escape, but it's not going to work. A Control K? Surely not a Control K. Surely take it out. I don't trust that for a minute. But anyway, it hasn't gone too well for him. Cabal is the next one in the danger zone here, going off against Smurf Hunter. He's sub 40% of his health and dropping. We have one badly damaged Jester still assisting him, though, against Smurf Hunter, who's also just gone below 50% as well. Nether is in the area with his commander. But yeah, so Team 1, the first team to lose a player there inside 5 minutes. Not a great start for them. Roller and Setzer going off against one another, and we hear some Jester fire going off as another couple of Jesters from F. Odin has locked onto Smurf Hunter, who's dropping now deep into the yellow. A third Jester joins the mix. Nether gets to work on a railgun. He's got some build capacity assisting him there, so he should have that operational very soon, but will it be soon enough? Smurf Hunter now into the red. Could Team 1 be about to lose yet another player barely a minute later than Master Mandel and his departure? Smurf Hunter, realizing he's not going to get further back away from these Jesters, needs to hug the railguns and hope that they pack enough firepower to kill off these Jesters, but it's not looking good. Smurf Hunter now below 200 hit points, below 100 hit points. Boom, baby! Oh my goodness, Cabal gets the scalp. How exactly, I don't know. Pretty sure it was just the Jesters on there, but so much going on. I think there's something wonky perhaps going on with the scoreboard notifications. Cabal getting an upgrade on his commander, and yeah, Team 1 find themselves 2 men down on a very ropey early exchange in this average Joe's. They've lost one Joe, but they've also lost a pro, the 1500. It's not looking good at all for Team 1 as their players rush in to cannibalize the old starting locations. And as we can see, full share is not on, so no fairies have to die today in some painful or humiliating way. Roller getting an upgrade on his comm over here. He doesn't look like he's going to complete that at all. Setzer with the gun upgrade, or one of them on the commander. Roller taking fire now from lots of Auroras. He's not going to be able to finish the upgrade. Cancels the T2. Is he even going to get out? It's very doubtful at this point. He should have cancelled that a long time ago. Roller about to go into the red, and Team 2 are about to scalp yet another player. This is truly horrendous now from Team 1, who are dropping 1 ACU a minute for the last 3 minutes. Oh my word, suddenly it's this guy and Nether versus the world. It is time for mass consolidation of forces. This guy, he's got T2 engineering suite on his comm. He's throwing down some T2 PD, so that's his front line. He's going to lose the position here. Stacker Destroyer rolling up with T1 forces and throwing down a land factory as well. But this is where he makes his stand, throwing down a TMD for good measure as well, trying to protect his forward resourcing options and those recently constructed emplacements. But yeah, suddenly massive operational mobility now for Team 2, who will be able surely to corner and confine the remnants of Team 1, assuming they play as aggressively as they should feel emboldened to do so after that start. 3 down for 0 in exchange. 8 minutes, 35 seconds gone. Stacker Destroyer goes to get an upgrade on his commander. That's going to be the T2 upgrade. Where are we at team mass totals? It's 211 versus 110 with 5k advantage already for Team 2. This guy trying to stem the Aurora tide that's rolling in towards his base, and he does do that. Setsa's like, I want to hold on to my numerical advantage up here. I'm not ready to push in against those Mantis. This guy doing his best to rally his team of what's left of it. He's on 93 mass per tick. Next highest after him is Stacker Destroyer on 51. No, sorry, it's K240 on 54. The air player for Team 2. Haven't seen a huge amount of him yet because it's only 9 3/4 minutes through this game. So many Cerberus turrets though, those will whittle down those tin-foiled tanks very quickly indeed. Setsa, one of our lowest rated players at 1100. Has his comm in the area as well. Doesn't want to hang about there. No, where are you going? You need to run away, sir. Ignore that mass point. It's not worth getting your commander killed. 2,000, 1,000, and then he strolls just out of range of that far western Cerberus turret, just in time. Another potential snipe on the cards though for F. Odin, who's stacking up the T1 gunships over here, waiting for an opening. Yeah, they're over here with his comm. Does have some preliminary air defenses. Got a couple of T1 static and a whole bunch of T1 mobile anti-air. And what have we got over here? There is the comm for this guy. Well, there he is. And he's all about the ground-based defense. It would seem all Cerberus turrets. We're not seeing any flak in there. Odd T1 unit from Stacker Destroyer getting stacked and destroyed by Nether's forces. Surprising a Mongoose as well, so he's hit T2. But as has Cabal, who up front are working on mass pillar production for a truly sturdy front line. See what I did there? What? What? Oh, that's a shame. Setsa drops out. Setsa doesn't drop out. F. Odin drops out down there at the bottom. Obviously having one or two issues there. And a little bit of a shame, but that's at least gives some breathing room to Team 1, who clearly needed it. So it does, at the very least, prolong the game just a smidge. And possibly opens up an avenue for a counter-attack from a badly depleted Team 1. I'm not missing that, am I? I mean, did not the little message from the notification pop up saying that was Setzer? Or maybe imagining it. Stranger things have happened. Just waiting for that comm to go up. That would certainly chime with the strange notification that seemed to go on up there, giving the kill to Cabal against Smurf Hunter, when it clearly looked like it was F. Odin's gunship pressure that got the job done. That's a lot of T2 tanks from Cabal. Gonna pick off that land factory belonging to Nether. Very lucky indeed that F. Odin dropped out there. That huge wave of jesters he was accumulating in the center could have caused problems for Team 1 at any moment. Top left-hand corner, under pressure from this guy, looking to retake the area. But that could be a problem for this guy's front line. The emergence of Ravagers. This guy seems to have pulled his commander as well. Pillars being shooed away. They could probably stand their ground pretty comfortable, get into formation and win this exchange. There's only a handful of mongoose there. Less than. And indeed, those Ravagers, 2 for now, soon to be 3, go about their business of slowly dismantling that Cybran front line. Indeed, those pillars moving back in on Nether's forces. They might struggle against this platoon of loyalists, though. Wisely turning tail and withdrawing. And would you look at this run by? Nice little group of T1. We've even got an engineer down here that's picking up mass points there for Nether. It's actually going to get in around the back of what was F. Odin's main base, nailing some abandoned engineers belonging to Stacker, and then some mexes, one of which was halfway done on the way to T2. In fact, they all are. K240 pulling his commander to deal with them. They would have done better to stick around and kill off those mexes there that have had quite a bit invested into them, instead of trying to go for that T2, which they're not going to manage, I don't think. No, they don't. That T2 Mex holds out with 292 remaining. That front line now is all but toast. Shields gone, one Cerberus turret there and a Burstmaster remain. That is the end of that. Engineers rolling forward for Stacker. Picking up those wrecks. A lot of mass to be had. They're not going to be there for long. Loyalists brought forward, and is this a full-on engagement we're seeing here? Are they coming to hit back at this front line? See them swerving left and right, trying to avoid as much of that T3 point defense fire as they can. Very mobile things. Stacker has his comm in the area, though. This would be very good for him or very bad. Needs to get some overcharges in the mix. Throws down a T1 PD before cancelling all of the others that he had queued up. One overcharge deals one loyalist, which is starting to spread out now, so the overcharge is becoming less and less effective. But that will kill 2 of them. Nicely done there. The shields dropping. They were only T2. Lots of units rolling in here to defend. Could Stacker find himself in a pretty pickle? He's got reinforcements coming in from the southeast though from Cabal. Stacker down to around 60 and then 50% of its health. He needs to keep overcharging, needs to keep picking off these loyalists. Could the T2 tanks have swung it? It's not looking good. The EMPs on the con don't help. Down into the red, and this will really help out Team 1. Boom, baby! Another player drops from Team 2, this time not by his own volition. And that will massively shift the balance in this game. Nice work there from this guy. And suddenly it's a 3v2, considerably better odds than Team 1 were facing just a moment ago. And actually, what are we looking at here? So this guy's on 195, 186 mass per tick. Nether's on 49. Team 2 still with a healthy advantage though. 327 versus 233. And a massive advantage into total mass accrued. 262 versus 196. Restorers are the order of the day there for K240. They're trying to flee in the face of an oncoming interceptor onslaught from this guy. Trying to pick off those T3 gunships with mass T1 air spam. A little bit of processing lag there as the air battle really gets underway. Lots of inties will die, but he won't mind about that. He just want to cut down those restorer numbers. Doesn't want to allow K240 to accumulate those in any significant number. And more loyalist pressure from this guy who turns his attention to Setsa's forward command force there. Mix of T1 and T2, and those units are not lasting very long at all. The odd obsidian in there, but not enough to stem the tide. And having seen what's just happened to his teammate, I should think Setsa will want to get some forces in here and some more emplacements in here very quickly indeed. Those loyalists tore apart his teammate in pretty short order, and that was with considerable T2 support coming in from Cabal. Setsa cancels his T2 upgrade. He's got three T2 PDs. And he does have a forward T3 land headquarters, which are slowly producing harbingers. In comes some assistance there from K240. He'll be pleased to see those gunships. Setsa, of course, periodically being stunned by the loyalist EMP at death. Real game changer that, en masse. Going up against ACUs. And this is a two-pronged attack. The main force actually coming through the center. This guy rolling over those central factories. An attack ping goes out there from Cabal saying to kill him. Guessing that's directed towards the restorers of K240, who's concerning them with base defense at the time being. Setsa once again starts the T2 upgrade on his comm. Right from the beginning again. Really wants to dig in there. Doesn't want to give up any more territory to this guy who's looking very dangerous for the time being, has to be said. Again, trying to counter those restorers with massive amounts of T1 interceptors. Huge quantities of prowlers. ASF's buzzing around. slowly that number of ASFs is increasing. This guy really, really frustrating Team 2 in the air and on the ground right now. Such relentless pressure, not allowing them any breathing room. And it doesn't seem like his losses are assisting Team 2 in any way. We're not seeing that typical to and fro that we're so used to seeing in pro matches. This guy just plunging head first into Team 2's territory now as they reach Setsa's main base and start annihilating engineers. Engineers trying to get some point defense up. They even get one. They might get one if they're lucky. And then they lock on to one of K240's T2 P-Gens. Those are going to be priority 1. Down goes 2. And a third. Will they get the 4th? There it goes. What's that's done to K240's power? Well, it's power locked in pretty damn hard. That's going to slow down the rate at which he pumps out those ASFs and restorers. Very nice work indeed. Been trying to snag a T3 mechs while they're there as well, but this guy finally runs out of loyalists. But look at that. Total capitulation in the center there from Team 2. Engineers, those grey engineers of this guy, rolling in to scoop up the mass and assert control on the area. It looks like Setsa could be in the headlights now for another attack, this time from the east. He has, however, got significantly more operational T2 point defenses now than he had before, but he hasn't got any shield coverage, and his commander anchored to the spot once again. He did manage to complete the T2 engineering suite upgrade. I'm guessing that's the T3 he's working on there, or indeed kind of personal upgrade. Starting T3, there we go. So he's trying to get that online. That's about 50-60% done. Fortunately for him, this guy doesn't like the look of that engagement, so he's not rushing in there anytime soon. K240 with a healthy group of restorers down at the bottom. That surprises me after losing his entire power grid. Has got a T3 online over here, that quantum reactor. Not sure when he built that, if that was just coming online already operational at the demise of his T2s. But you just look at where all of the engagement's been. It's been down here. This guy has just torn the heart out of Team 2. And now he's got a Monkey Lord heading towards Setsa. Setsa needs to get a move on. Has he even realized the danger? I'm assuming not, otherwise his commander would be way gone by now. The T2 PDs, of course, lock onto the forces coming in from the east, not the Monkey Lord, who is stealth. And Setsa surely is gone. Cabal can't believe it, says in team chat, oh my god. Monkey Lord strolls straight up to Setsa's comm with that broad sweeping laser. In come the restorers from K240, and in fact the main units aren't even going after Setsa and his commander. They're heading towards the main bases because he knows he's got him. He locks onto the commander and his health disappears. Kaboom! Setsa defeated by this guy at 24 minutes. And now Cabal is in trouble as well. This is redonkulous. Can he hold out? Even if he can hold out against this group of T2 and T3, he's got a problem up here for the Monkey Lord, although K240 stepping in en masse with his restorers. This guy's trying to counter with the interceptors. I think this comm down here is going to be okay. Cabal with his personal shield should be able to take care of those, and the Monkey Lord running out of HP in dramatic fashion now. Those restorers tearing the very heart out of that spider bot. Below 1,000 points, and there it goes. That's a nice little mass gift on their doorstep. And of course, the interceptors running out of rope as well, up against the AA gunships. In fact, Cabal now pushing out from his base with some Percivals that have arrived on the scene, picking off a brick or two as they go. No mods in on this, so this is the current build, not the one that's nerfing T3, which I lament daily, although I do understand it's not yet 100% cemented into the patch framework. There's still room for adjustment. Could have that wrong. But you look at what's happened now. Team 2 confined to this corner of the map. And in fact, if you count Nether's recent gains down here, it's less than 25% map control. Now got 5-6 T1 tanks rolling in down here. They're going to get annihilated up against these Oblivions if they carry on, but the intent is there. Where are we at in terms of eco? Well, we haven't addressed it in a while, and it's interesting to note that Team 1, now in a 2v2 situation, are way ahead in eco. A spectacular comeback when you think about the first 10 minutes of this game and how badly it went for them. 398 there for Team 2 total mass versus 531. They're still way ahead in total mass accrued. 553 versus 445, but what does it matter when you've lost that much map control and you've lost that many players? It's a very stiff hill for Team 2 to climb now. You look at that beastly group of units lurking in the center, and we're about to get a megalith joining the fray as well. This guy about 66% done there. We have got a GC online for K240. Another one started promptly after. Cabal up front with his comm. Plenty of mass to draw on there in terms of reclaim. What have we got here? Is that Clink Hammer? Yes, it is. Two glorious Clink Hammers flinging beautiful UEF artillery towards the front line of Team 2. And now Percivals find themselves under extraordinary amounts of pressure here. Assorted T3 and T1 rolling in. T1 marginally more effective against Percivals than they are against other units of their class, with the massive overkill on the Percival and slow rate of fire. So the T1 is all Medusa. Would you look at that? Bank of Triads back here, doing their best to contend with this spam that's heading south. Large air engagement kicking off up here. Actually looks like this guy might be gaining the initiative in the air. It's very close if not. And the losses from the K240 continuing its march forward. Waypoint set to here. 29 minutes gone. But lots of gunships. You've got to hand it to K240. He's been pretty masterful at pumping those out, and he's got a pretty healthy economy. Cabal has suffered the brunt of the attacks from this guy. Has yet to really get himself established. K240's been able to draw on the destroyed bases of his teammates either side of him. So 327 for him, but this guy on 485 running away with it. It's now 607 to 422 on team mass per tick, and they'll be dramatically closing that gap on the total mass accrued, which of course is not a big team game like this, not particularly representative of team's progress or indeed their current standing in the game. All the toys and the mass bars that have been filled up and created by teammates have since gone pop. Now that megalith chasing away that Colossus, which is already out of the green actually as it happens. Cabal asking for K240 to give the GC, which he has. There's another GC produced over here as well. The restorers as he got there, that looks like a nasty bunch. He's got 24 restorers, might not sound like a lot, but incredibly versatile, hard to kill with air, because of course they're very powerful in the air. Don't put out the most amount of damage from ground base, but any gunship en masse is a nuisance. See if Team 2 can finally break out of this corner of the map and start expanding. Also, it's interesting to note Nether has a pretty huge chunk of territory himself, but has yet to turn that into a real solid return in terms of mass income. He needs to get upgrading, and he needs to curtail K240's expansion somehow, which is going to be difficult because he's going to need assistance in the air from this guy. Let's do a quick ASF count to see where we're at now. 30 ASFs there for K240 and 20 there for this guy. So this guy definitely not in a position to take on K240 in the air, especially not if he hits the ASFs while they're protecting the restorers. That will be way too much air-to-air firepower for him to deal with, and a nice bombing run from some revenants from this guy. He takes out a couple of Percys and damages a whole bunch more just in time for the megalith to tidy them up. There's a lovely little strike from this guy, inflicting massive casualties on Cabal's forces. He really is going to need to hold on to those Percys if he's to keep this guy out of his base. And now a clink hammer battery, under construction, firing out those shells to try and hit back at that megalith. Another bombing run coming in on those Percys. The revenants get shot down, but they take out 6 or 7 Percys in that run, so it'll be worth it. Can they take the clink hammers out as well? That's the thing. They need to be able to keep the megalith advancing so they can lay down. If they can get the megalith on the plateau to take out this front line and force Cabal back, then the front door on the ground will be wide open and he can come straight in with the rest of his forces. The problem still being, of course, this massive group of gunships which is growing all the time. He really needs Nether to prioritize air production. Colossus strolling round the corner of the map there from K240, and that's potentially a pretty vulnerable avenue of attack for Nether. That Colossus strolls straight up the eastern edge of the map. Really anything to stop it going straight in towards the main base. Megalith forced to turn tail. GC picking off what kills it can. In come the restorers, locking on to that megalith. The GC picks the target as well. It's not got long left on this earth though. Only a few thousand hit points left. The GC about to go down. But the megalith surely will follow it soon enough, thanks to all of the restorers. There is some flak on the ground. Restorers spread out around it. It's vital they keep this megalith away from the main base. There's a monkey lord coming in behind it. Megalith down. There's not much flak left. There's another GC lying in wait as well. And that's not an attack that's gone well for this guy. Stalwart defense from these two in the bottom corner, taking their time, allowing Team 1 to overextend. Another megalith completed, another one under construction. Cabal asking once again for K240 to give the GC up front over to his control. Now where is the GC going over here? Now we've got one Ravager on the ridge. Want to stay away from that if you can. Got some Titans coming in from the west as well. Should turn around and vaporize those. Titans being sucked up towards the Colossus. Second GC looks like it's going straight up towards Nether, who's at the front line with his commander at this fire base here. A couple of Clink Hammers online and a few Ravagers. Of course, this dangerous group of gunships which are looming. Bank of railguns, no match for them. Loses a T2 Mex, drops him down from 134 to 128. Still not moving in the right direction considering all of the territory he had. And now Nether finds himself in a pretty pickle. It's time to evacuate, my friend. Starts work on another Ravager, allows the engineers to complete that. He's like, see you guys, I'm out of here. But are you out of here too late is the question. We do have another megalith rolling in from this guy, prioritizing the GC, but the gunships are perhaps the real problem as they stroll in over the top. There's not a great deal of ground-based firepower. Interceptors, sorry, ASFs running screen for the gunships, but Nether also stuck around to get shot in the face by the GC. That's a terrible decision. Nether evicted by K240. Oh, dearie me. So suddenly this guy finds himself all by his lonesome. But he's still ahead in eco. Team 1 still ahead, 537 to 513. And 28k power versus 24k power. And he's also finally overtaken in total game mass accrued. 847 to 848. Sorry, 850 to 848. But those restorers looking deadly. He's lost a lot of them in that last exchange, but it was probably worth it to get rid of Nether. Fat Boy under construction now from Cabal. Another GC rolling forward. And a lot of Percivals. Cabal replenishing his stock there. Engineers getting picked off by some Clink Hammer fire. And that's interesting. So the departure of his final teammate has prompted this guy to consolidate and go for a more standoff approach. We've got a disruptor, T3 static artillery under construction at the front line. Let's take a look at what he can reach with that from its current positioning. If I can actually find the thing. There it is. Really can't. Actually struggling. I don't know why. Not actually selecting it yet. Is that really it? That can't be it. That must be his minimum range, surely. So it looks like he can hit just about everything. Everything in the main bases. So this little group of factories and T3 power plants, which have allowed Team 2 to get back in the game with K240's massive restorer spam, that could be under threat. The engineers around T3 Air HQ, that could be under threat. K240 could find himself a non-aircraft producing nation if that disruptor is allowed to complete. Still a long time to go, I think, before that happens. That fat boy is going to come online soon. There's a lot of mass for them to scoop up. All sitting behind that forward group of GCs and the Percivals up here, but that's a nasty looking group of experimentals as well. Heading south, those two megaliths and the Monkey Lord. Lots of bricks sitting behind them as well. And we've got some bangers in there as well. That's going to help to contend with those restorers, which have been causing such a problem. And I said they had a long time. They have no time at all. This guy has almost insta-built this disruptor that's about to complete any second. That's what happens when you've got an economy of 626 mass per second. Pretty significant stuff. Artillery online, and what's the priority target? Surely that's the priority target. We'll see where the first shells land and whether or not Team 2 have scouted it. Yes, they have. First artillery shell inbound. There's a lot of ground forces suddenly on the pitch for Team 2. They've really pumped them out pretty quickly, but this will be a nasty wake-up call. Clips the edge of that bottom air factory and kills a whole bunch of parked ASFs. Another shell about to land. If it hits that bottom one, that'll go. There it goes. Takes one of the air factories with it. Sets us shouting, "Yikes, artillery!" in team chat. K240 clearly pissing Cabal off by not giving over his experimentals to his control. It's hard being the air player. Sometimes you want to use your own GCs. But oh, dearie me, that disruptor paying absolute dividends right now. Just one T3 one T3 power plant remains. And look what it's done to K240's power production. Absolutely nailed it. Fortunately for him, I guess his power consumption has gone down by a similar amount, having lost all those air factories as well. Leading with the Monkey Lord, not always advisable. GCs make short work of that and then prioritise the megalith. In come the loyalists and the bricks. And there's your screenshot of the weak fat boy from behind. Bricks coming in from the side. And I'm going to humbly suggest this engagement very likely to go in favour of Team 2. Those Percivals coming in en masse. Down goes the megalith. Only one experimental remaining. And that fat boy as yet unchallenged. Although Loyalist and Bricks getting close. Cabal wants to think about withdrawing that. Percival's going straight in on that megalith from behind. Not a lot left on units for this guy penetrating through. Oh man. And look how quickly that megalith is about to die once those smaller units are tidied up. So many burstables, Fat Boy fire rolling in. And a huge beam of light from the face of the GC for good measure. And then what? This guy is now completely out of options. He's building Monkey Lords up front. His commander's up front. Stacker says to his teammates, "You've got this." And I'm inclined to agree with him. That disruptor, while devastating in the impact it's had on the main base, is not going to give him the win. I'm wondering if a couple more experimentals had been built instead of that. That would have turned the tides. Well, that was a poor decision. This guy evacing with his commander as the Percivals, the GC and the Fat Boy reach the main base. They're going to want to kill off that artillery as quickly as possible. So much destruction, air battles going on overhead. Attack pings being furiously labelled on the disruptor. There it goes. Attack pings now going down on this guy's commander. The GC chasing him down. K240 now in a position to get the kill since he didn't turn over control of his GC, and what a satisfying thing that will be as he locks his vision on this guy's comm, who almost rolls out of range but doesn't. Kaboom! More Monkey Lords are under construction. This was a lovely little network of air production up at the back as well. We never got much of a chance to examine what was going on at the back there. But that is the end of that. This guy does not complete his comeback, and a slightly disappointing end, shall we say, to this cast, which I think is perfectly befitting of Christmas, don't you? That's slightly disappointing as an adult. So there we go. It marries up with real life, and it wasn't another comeback, which is good. You guys have to admit it. I'm keeping you guys guessing a bit more. That's the purpose. But I hope you enjoyed it anyway, guys. And in all seriousness, a Merry Christmas from me. I hope you have a fabulous day. Now go and join your family. Just leave me. Go and join your family. Open some presents. Get really, really drunk. Say something very inappropriate that makes the room go quiet. That's, after all, what Christmas is all about. And I will look forward to seeing you in the new year. There won't be another one before that. I know I put this one out a little earlier as opposed to Thursdays, which I've sort of been getting in the groove of lately. It came out a little earlier just so I could do it, land it on Christmas Day, and just generally be awkward for you guys. But yeah, new ones to start beginning of the new year. If not on the 4th, that Thursday, then soon after. It all depends on whether the kids leave me alone, and indeed when their term starts. I'm not entirely sure. Don't forget, guys, you can also support me on Patreon. All Christmas presents are greatly received, so look forward to that. But until next time, guys, have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. This is Guile, signing out.